17-year-old Izumi Shinichi lives with his mother and father in a quiet neighborhood in Tokyo. One night, worm-like aliens called Parasytes invade Earth, taking over the brains of human hosts by entering through their ears or noses. One parasite attempts to crawl into Shinichi while he sleeps, but fails since he is wearing headphones. The creature enters Shinichi's body by burrowing into his arm instead, taking over the boy's right hand. It adopts the name Migi. Because Shinichi was able to prevent Migi from traveling further up into his brain, both beings retain their separate intellect and personalities. The duo encounters other parasites though. They capitalize on their strange situation and gradually form a strong bond, working together to survive. This gives them an edge in battling other parasites who frequently attack the pair upon realization that Shinichi's human brain is still intact. Shinichi feels compelled to fight other parasites who devour humans as food while enlisting Migi's help. Alright, so hello everyone, welcome to another anime review, and we are doing Parasyte, an anime that I actually watched recently, and it came out in one of the anime seasons, and I completely ignored it. I thought it looked freaky deaky, and I don't know why, I'm stupid. But when I watched this, I was really captivated in how parasites and the parasites, the idea of what they're going through is like an alien that goes through and tries to kind of conquer human society by, you know, taking over their bodies and devouring other humans, which is pretty crazy. But the main thing here is that even though these parasites are doing something, and they were told that humans needed to be taken out, they needed to be, because they're hurting the universe or they're hurting Earth. But in reality, the humans, and Shinichi has his brain intact, the main character here with the glasses, was an amazing main character. I mean, it was pretty good. I mean, the way he changed from what he was in the beginning to what he ended up being, like a coward. He was a coward. He was not really up to doing the fighting stuff. He was kind of afraid, but once he found out the purpose of being who he is, being able to still have his brain intact while having a parasite, he wanted to protect the people he loved, and that kind of changed how he is. But also the parasite had to do to how he changed as a person as well, because he felt less human when the parasite took over his right hand. But anyway, what I was saying is that even though like humans are thinking like, these parasites, they're monsters, how could they do this to us? But in reality, humans do this to other animals, and we think it's fine, but maybe to the animals, we're murdering them, and the parasites put up a good point. So in the anime, you're on the human side at first, because you're like, oh man, these guys are bastards, because they're killing every human, and it's like it's disgusting. I mean, they totally straight up murder them in blood, and oh my god, hold on. But then the parasites bring a point, like Migi brings up the point that the humans are also murdering things like with no care, like cows and other stuff. But that's not the main point. And let me go into the characters here. So I talked about Shinichi. Shinichi is a great main character, and how he changes. He doesn't stay as one person, so you're kind of like into it. You're like, okay, so he's not the same person, because when you watch an anime, you tend to yell at the main character because he does the same shiz over and over again. But since Shinichi changes as a person, you kind of adapt to it, and you kind of like, oh, okay, so I mean, you're first yelling at one part, why you gotta be like this, and then he changes and like, oh, okay, I see some, and it's weird because the parasites, it's weird that the parasites change who you are. If they don't take over your whole body. If they do take over your whole body, I think you're just gone. So let me talk about the other characters. Migi was, you know, kind of that, she was a parasite, or he, I think Migi's a guy. I think they said it was guy, even though it sounded like a girl. But Migi was a parasite, so she didn't even know better, even though Shinichi kind of yelled at him because he was mad about what the parasites were doing and mad about how Migi would do stuff. And because they since one species is humans and one is parasites, they have other views on how to do things. And so it was kind of a growing partnership, but there were still problems with each other. But Migi, in the end, Migi was a good, this is a review, by the way, was a good parasite. He learned through, Shinichi, and since parasites and human, if they are able to interact together, instead of one taking over the other one, which parasites are the one on that side, they can work together and possibly, live in human society, which happens in the end where parasites kind of live with humans instead of killing humans. And I don't know if that's how I would have ended, but it was a pretty good ending. The other character, Tamiya Roko, which is this chick right here, you hate her. I mean, I hated her in the beginning of the anime because she's a typical parasite. She doesn't know what to do. I mean, she doesn't know human feelings. She kills without even thinking. But then she has a baby. She has a human baby with, so two parasites. If you remember, another parasite and her have a baby. And it's a human baby, it's not a parasite baby, and then she grows to love that, and she gains humans' emotions because of that baby. And when she died, it was actually very sad because she kind of learned about humans and she understood how they felt, and it was pretty weird. She didn't fully understand, but she was able to gain that through living with them and having a child of her own, but not the same species is pretty weird if you think about it. And having that, it was pretty sad when she died because I'm like, she realized that what she was doing was not typically right and she wanted to help now, but now she's dead, and that was one of the sad parts. The other sad part had to do with Kana. Kana was a human girl that was able to sense parasites, and she thought that she fell in love with Shinichi, but there's no picture of her on this, by the way. Sorry. But yeah, Kana was able to sense parasites. I don't know if they made a reason on why, and so she first sensed Shinichi, and then she believed that she could only send Shinichi because it was fate, it was love. And I mean, that's adorable. But then she ran into parasites, and then they figured out that she didn't know that she was sensing parasites and not Shinichi. The parasites, the parasites. But she got since she really got, she really wanted to see Shinichi after he went on his trip, or when he was gone for a while and then they were planning to meet, she ran over to a building, and then there just happened to be a parasite there, and she died, which I think was the saddest part ever. I mean, she loved Shinichi, and then I know Murano and Shinichi fall in love, which was beautiful. It was a good love. I love the romance in it as well. I love seeing romance in animes, and they did a very good job in here. But Kana, it was so sad because she wrote on the wall, IS heart KK, and it was sad because she thought that she was sensing the person she loved, but in actuality she was sensing the monsters, and because she didn't know that, she died for it. And I don't know, it was pretty sad. I don't usually have animes. There selected few that made me cry, but that really got me in the heart. And the Tamiya Roko actually made me cry too. But enough of that. I'm being a little baby anyway. But the anime and the bad guys weren't easy. They weren't like easy obstacles. They were very hard. This guy, I forgot his name, but the bodies, whatever body he had, he was such a tough person. He was the toughest, the last person that, the last parasite that Shinichi had to face. And Shinichi had to decide whether he should let him live or die, and he decided to kill him. But yeah, parasites, he decided to kill him because parasites are still seen as a threat, and they're kind of invading their country, their world. So he had no choice there but to do that, because there are parasites that still want to kill instead of live by humans. But once parasites realized that their numbers were getting smaller, they decided to not devour humans as much and try to live with them, because they could extinct. And so overall, this anime was a trip. And oh, I totally forgot the part where Shinichi, his mom turned into a parasite when his dad and his mom were on a trip, and a parasite ate the mom, and the parasite turned into the mom. And it was just that was one of the saddest moments, I think. There were three: the Kana, Roko, and his mom. I can't believe they were able to add that many, and it was a very dramatic experience. The action was very well done. I just love the anime overall and how the story developed as it went by. The animes, just the story in general, and how parasites and humans lived along. If there was like an alien that invaded us, and they had the capability to kill us, what would we do? And it would seem like, because these monsters, it seemed like that humans basically had no chance, especially the guy up here. And it is just amazing watching it. It was a very, very good experience. I loved it thoroughly. People are asking if there would be a second season. I think they should end it here. And then my friend CJ, who has been in one of my videos, said, Man, Roko's baby, I don't know, man. That baby must be part parasite. And I'm like, what are you talking about? What is the baby gonna do? It's just one. If it was a parasite, what would it do? What? Take over the world? Oh my god. So, if there was a second season, I don't know. I highly unlikely. But this anime was great as it is. It was 24 episodes. It was a very fun anime to see how two species who don't know nothing about each other and how they live, and how one together, Shinichi and Migi, how they live together. It was a very interesting thing, and the psychological feel about it, it was very good. So if I were to rate this out of 10, it would be 8.5 out of 10. But I'm not done just yet, and I know I'm almost out of time. But Parasyte versus Tokyo Ghoul is something that I wanted to talk about here. Some people would suggest Tokyo Ghoul, Parasyte as well. Tokyo Ghoul is a good anime. It's a good anime. The action is amazing. I'd say it's actually probably better than Parasyte. But the way you feel about Parasyte, the way you feel about the characters, the story development, I just think the Parasyte took better handling with the species, two species in the world, than Tokyo Ghoul did, even though some people might think otherwise. That's just what I think. I mean, Tokyo Ghoul would probably be like a 7.8, 7.9 out of 10 for me, but still a good anime. I just love Parasyte more because it was more dramatic in a way that you felt more sad when the characters died. Well, you feel sad when Tokyo Ghoul, when someone dies, like someone who's pretty important, or someone who you enjoyed watching when they die. You're like, oh man, but they basically had no chance. I mean, the humans, you're basically shifting to one side who should win, and I mean, you're mostly on the ghoul side because Kaneki was a ghoul. But ghouls were bad people, and so were humans, and you see that here in Parasyte as well. Humans were bad, and parasites are bad as well. So it's hard, but I don't know. So I'm actually gonna end it here because I'm out of time. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. I don't know what anime I'm gonna do next, but please leave suggestions. Maybe I'll do Shokugeki no Soma or something else. Please tell me. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this anime review. There will be more to come. This has been a Ray Solution, and people, stay amazing. Peace!